The Gilded Veil. I'm still hearing whispers. This is not a good sign. What the oh my goodness.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
I feel at home already. What kind of Urgit? Okay. He scans you with sunken, lifeless eyes. His voice is a dry croak. He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. I mean, I think I might reconsider.
Nonsense. Gilded Vale is a perfectly suitable village for those who respect the Lord's decrees. Besides, you won't find a better offer anywhere else in the Deerwood these days, and you look as if you could use a fresh start.
I mean, I do, but this is not the fresh start I'm looking for. Thanks, though. Looks around at the town, his face a mask of sober contentment.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
What? Have I ever sired a Hollowborn? Over half-moon spectacles, it scratches his chin. Aren't I Hollowborn? What are you talking about?
An infant born without a soul, of course. Lord Radric has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly toward the deformed tree.
Are you threatening me, buddy? Is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
I don't feel like a curse. Let's not, tell him about that. I'm pretty sure he's crazy and he's gonna try to kill me as soon as I tell him what happened. Like, that could be considered a curse. So let's not say anything about what we just experienced. He said something about Hollowborn and Bewick. You foreigners seem to have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge for almost 15 years now. Children born without souls. Jason's head, pitiful, dumb things that breathe barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn a disease. Some say they're a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows. But they began spreading after the Saints' War, so the name Widewind's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. Lord Radric, decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. He nods. I'm sure he does. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. He regards you carefully. You'll want to mind where you mention that. Trespassing on Engwithan ruins. It's illegal, not to mention dangerous. Probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Berith, have mercy, we certainly have. Oh, I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a Beowick. Should I mention that? I don't think so. I feel like that's a bad thing to mention. Maybe so. Like I said, it's best to stay away from those sorts of places. I've been feeling strange ever since the close call with a Beowick. Is there someone in town? Okay, I guess I'm forced to tell him about it. Sure.
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an Animancer. However, the only Animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all. But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that. Keep out of...
Is that the...
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
Uh-oh. Does that mean the baby's dead?
3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric.
Oh no.
I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? What happened? I will know more details when the messengers arrive. Vagaries of childbirth, perhaps. But that is not your concern. What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Berith must be redoubled. Does that mean I'm gonna be sacrificed? Don't chase me across this town, please. I just need a place to stay. Advise you to get some rest at the inn or stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. Yeah, let's not threaten the guy.
What is it?
I'm but a single mage.
As you wish.
If I had more spells, I'd be a little bit more confident in that.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
Bracelets of twine and bead, molting flowers, and notes half erased by the rain. Sellsword and armor. A deer. Welcome to our lovely village. Thank you, I guess. More villagers. And a broken cathedral, looks like. Oh, there's a basement in here. What are you? Hold on, let's check.
Yes.
Check my character. I'm a godlike. That's what it's called. Hollowborns are different. Okay. As you near, you feel a vibrant history containing the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out. Reach out for the soul. Tail Phelan. You see a pennant waving tall and sluggish in the wind. A rising sun embroidered on the banner. The vanguard of a small troop of paladins. The atmosphere is buoyant if restrained, and their armor has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At their head stands a commander, awkward in full armor, but determined in step. Despite the excitement of his fellows, he does not smile. There's a twist to his mouth, his countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troops. Silence falls among them, revealing a dark thunder deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons and spread out. Eyes dart from horizon to horizon, necks twisting to see the source of the sound. In the distance, dust and lightning rise from the ground, as Stygian clouds race towards them overhead. The soldiers stand. Only the staccato movement of their breath betrayed their nerves. The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down on his troop. Invigorated, invincible, they wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. Step back. Can I talk to you? No. Okay, guess not. No talking needed.
Of course.
I kind of want to explore. Things are bound to get worse now. Oh, that's the loft. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggests an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
Ooh, fight. One of the other men glares at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. We've got a lot of gall mocking us in our own village. We don't take ill treatment from foreigners, especially not Adrians.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Thrusts his chin at the elf. He stinks of sour
Why,
ale.
you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
Haha.
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
Uh-oh.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
That's where you're wrong.
I really don't think attacking him is a good idea. Did you see his portrait? That looks pretty badass if you ask me. Why is that? He looks like a fellow mage, so I'm gonna defend him. Gives the other 2 a warning shake of his head before turning to you. We're done for now, but this one better watch his step around here, because we're not going anywhere. Final scowl at the elf, he turns to leave. Elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
That was actually kind of fun, yeah.
Well, that is one way of putting it.
Straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvusser, at your service.
Pleased to meet you. How did you manage to get stuck out here? He laughs uncomfortably. That is something of a long story.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I'm grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land.
Wow, that's pretty brave of you.
And how exactly did you come to be here?
Ain't that a story? I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Oh, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
A slow smile creeps across his face. A man must have his secrets. Very well. Thank you. I'm glad that he respects that. I'm sure he has a few secrets of his own. Probably didn't tell me everything. Just how did you manage to cross those 3 drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
I mean, you did tell that man to go fuck his sister. You did make a rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the aggressors and his own sister. Clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I see. For which I'm grateful. Let's discuss something else, shall we? This guy's got quite a tongue on him, huh? What are you doing in Gilded
Excellent
Vale?
question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
To me, yes. And you? I'm also
Indeed.
a Sunday.
In that case, welcome to Gilded Vale, a true refuge from civilization.
Isn't it?
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
Agreed. I should get
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
Sure.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
Yes.
I don't see why
How
not.
may I help?
What has he got? A scepter. And a rapier. Interesting. Dazzling lights. Overwhelms anyone in the area of effect with a brilliant, bewildering pyrotechnic display, increasing will and leaving them dazed. Freeze damage. Minor missiles. Okay.
Well, I'll take care of it.
Sadly I need to rest at this inn. So.
Hello.
Pasha. Welcome to the Black Hound Inn. Sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of good meal today, unless you're fond of cold porridge. What? You don't have anything else? Looks at you and shakes his head quickly. It isn't by choice, I assure you. We used to serve some of the finest meals in the Deerwood, my bad. We've had a damnable run of luck is all. It's been a bad season for the crops and we're running low on supplies. I sent Tenfrith up north to stock up. Tenfrith's our cook, you see. An artist with a good roast. But it's been days since he was supposed to return, and we haven't seen any sign of him. She sighs again. I've only just taken over from the last owner myself. I don't know what I'll do if he doesn't turn up. I mean, I could try to find him for you. Really? Her face brightens. I'd be grateful to you if you did. He was traveling through the Valewood. It's probably nothing. A broken wheel, maybe? But I do worry. Oh. Yeah, about that. You see him safely home, and I think everyone in here would sing your praises. Nobody much likes my porridge. Oh. I could use some reliable help. Do you know of anyone looking for work? Well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts coming by looking for work from time to time. If you'd like to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them your way. Sure, let me see what you have. A level 1 adventurer? I mean, I guess. It's not that helpful. How much money do I have? 166. Okay, well. Common room's enough. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree. The creaking of its ropes grows louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open. They're empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts. With a gust of rancid air she speaks a word. Watch her. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. Ooh,
Yes.
that's a hell of a nightmare. Find the dwarf woman from the dream.
As you wish.
Let's explore the mess hall. What's up, guys? Good to see new faces around. Feels like the village gets smaller by the day. Milk and gray. Food's here been awful lately. That it is, nice and dry it is. Storm Brightblade. As you near, you feel a vibrant history constrained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Strom Brightblade. Reach out for the soul. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. This man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he is doing as he does it, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking toward the boys, talking about proper stance and how to most effectively hold the bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue, and he stops, scanning the woods. Blue eyes squinting against the sun. A shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Loosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There is sudden explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. The boys laugh, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him holding the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he looses this last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind its shoulder, piercing heart and lungs and dropping it dead almost immediately. The boys stare at the deer for a few seconds, and they slowly turn to look at the man. Newfound respect in their eyes, he smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. Selina Vertigo. As you near, you feel... Oh, okay. So it's gonna be the same thing every time. Man, there's a lot of reading in this game. You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures, and herbs scattered throughout her room haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack one item after the other, careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has a clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more, one hand held to her mouth. Tears eke from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can in the satchel, grabbing it and running out of the bare house. Straightening her back, she walks to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen. Anyone heading out on high tide. Less than half an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump.
What is it?
Man,
I'll take care of it.
some people come from long ways, deep backgrounds and histories. It's that story you told again with the tall fellow and the wee lass. Oh my goodness, is this more? Oh yeah. Jiminy. This is real bad for the voice. Holy crap, there's so much. I don't know if I'm gonna read them all, to be quite honest. Let me know what you guys think. If you'd prefer that I read them all, or if you'd like to read it yourself. And I could just edit through this and make it nice and quick. Just get on with the action and the actual gameplay. That's not to say that the writing isn't bad, or that the writing isn't good, I mean. Writing is very good. You see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with a carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant, removing another from the impromptu brawl. The bar is a whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists, and feet, with no end in sight, and he is in his element. In the corner, three smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger man in the center. He breaks a chair over a tattooed head, cackling. The trio position themselves in three parts of the room, and with terse nod, they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all three slump to the ground in the agony that's all in their minds. The burly man bows to a room of the unconscious and incapacitated, before sauntering out, off-key whistles trailing behind him. Deathlock Vegetemp. Shane shakes Mulrian. You see an emaciated boy in chains, black holes for eyes, staring sightlessly at a wall. A man in a dark coat walks in, a scroll and an oddly shaped quill in his hand. The boy glances at him expressionless, a corpse waiting for animation. The man clicks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. The boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest, copying sharp angular symbols from the scroll. The child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into his skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishes with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone hard, his chest burning black and red. Finally, the glow disappears, leaving only hard black scars etched into his skin. He slumps sideways, twitching, eyes facing the back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg on his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn, eyes still black like holes, the twitches growing into convulsive shakes. Sela Amen. Sela Amen. Whatever. You see a long, empty road cutting through two large crop fields. The air is silent, and the land seems too still for early afternoon. This woman walks slowly on the road, leading a horse, curiously looking around. She seems to sense something is wrong, but is unable to discern what it is. She stops, sniffing at the air, her nose high. Her brow crinkles, and she casts about, looking for something. The air is clear, no clouds. She sniffs again, still looking around. Confusion clouding her face, mouthing a single word. Fire? She looks out across the field, her confusion turning to fear. She holds her hand up to block the sun from her eyes and scans the field again. Not finding what she was looking for, she jumps onto her horse's back, the fear quickly becoming panic. She kicks, sending the horse shooting down the path, which bends around some trees to where the farmhouse should be. She pulls up short, horror now in residence on her face as she stares at the burned, charred mess that used to be her family's home. Tears well in her eyes as she kicks again, racing to the rubble.
Yes?
Everybody has their own past, looks like. Okay. The Deerwood and lockpicks. What is this? These bones are covered in tiny bite marks. What is this? Black Hound. This hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked, as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. Pet the dog.
Well? As you wish.
Waiting for food, I suppose? Okay. Yeah, this game certainly has a whole lot more dialogue and backstory to it. It's just, there's also a lot of reading. It's just a lot of reading. I believe that's the entrance to the inn, right? Oh no, it's not.
What is
Opera.
it?
Let's not touch that in front of him. I'm sure he's gonna get mad. A Deerwooden woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself, or perhaps to her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. She turns her head slightly as you enter.
Hail and well met.
Hello. Finally, I was starting to think. She makes a startled noise when she turns around and sees you. Oh, I'm sorry, I was expecting someone else. She gives a cautious smile. Can I help you? Nice cat. Just arrived in Gilded Vale and I thought I'd get to know the locals. Master Odima's by chance? I was, yes. I'm afraid the rest of the caravan was killed. You knew Odima? No more than most, I'd say. He doesn't usually come this way, but they say he's a reliable old fellow. Why do you say new? Sorry, but the caravan was attacked. I was the only one to survive. Kalisa was always so certain she could take on any danger. Oh, that's... Called her here. If I hadn't written to her, she might still be alive somewhere. If I compose this on you, it's not a small favor. I'm worried about the baby, about the legacy. I told Kalisa as much as I could. Well, all I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless, empty. It's happened to so many mothers, and Lord Redrick, he's exiled all of them, calling it a sign of the gods' disfavor. With my Hereford gone, I don't know how I'd manage if I lost my home too. What? Kind Wayfarers and Gold-Packed Knights. I'm not really sure what that is. I hoped Kalisa could help me. They say Ranga, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent a child being hollowborn, but she moved south to Anslug's Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey's too far for me. I can't make it as I am. But I don't know anyone else now with Kalisa gone. Please, can you help me? Sure. She's one of the few nice people in this village, so I'll help her. She's not a total douchebag. Actually, she's not a douchebag at all so far. I'll give you a coin to pay her with. You needn't trouble yourself with that. I think it's a drink she fashions out of. Well, I'm not sure, but it shouldn't be too much of a burden to carry back. Drink. To cross the wilds to get there.
Yes.
No problem. So, Anslug's Compass,
As you wish.
Mother Runga. Do we want to... Let's explore... Actually, let's quick save real quick and explore. Because who knows what will happen. Going into a cathedral basement. Who are you? You look alive, wretched beasts. A man lies resting against the wall, lit by the dim illumination of the fading sconces. He has a gaunt, fox-like aspect. His face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeves soaked with blood. It gives you an anxious glance. Ooh, that's an important difference. Glance as you near. His features twist.
Gods keep you.
Whoever you are, you've traveled a long way to reach a dark place. Times being as they are. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful either. Just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it. Maybe you'd have better luck. Better luck with what? These ruins around us used to be a temple of Eothas, the scattered god, a grand temple at that. His worshippers would come from all over the Dyrwood. Wow, what happened here then? Until the war, of course. Even then, you'd get some of the stubborn ones, the ones that couldn't get it through their heads that their god was dead and gone. Yeah, Lord Redrick allowed them to worship. He would clear out the place from time to time, make arrests. It wasn't until the legacy that he started. He sent his guards in to put the priests to the sword. What? Bring the place down, burn some of the books, and that was that. What's this legacy that people talk of? The cause of the corpses in that tree, for starters. Putting it might simply, but yes, indirectly. Saint Waidwin's legacy, the man that housed the scattered god at a time. Lord Redrick fought in that one. When they brought the god down, we had us a celebration here in town. We thought things would never be better. Started sometime after that, the disease or whatever it is, children being born without the stuff that makes them truly alive, just empty shells and the mothers screaming and crying. Lets out a long breath. It's destroyed us, Gilded Vale, I mean. go on. Once the legacy started, Lord Redrick decided he'd been too lenient on the Eothasians. Eothasians. My mistake. He had his people go in and put them to the sword, left them down there, buried under a heap of rock. After that, Redrick ordered the temple sealed. It's been years like that. Up until recently. Lord Redrick hopes that if we rededicate the temple to a living god, then we'll be forgiven and the legacy will end. See? But until then, the temple is as you see it, unguarded. That's where you come in. Those priests, maybe they didn't have a lick of sense between them, but they still didn't deserve to go like that. Chop down their god's house. It doesn't sit right with me. You can get down there, find their remains, maybe we can finally give them a proper burial. No small task. There's coin in it for you if you need motivating. Cautious expression softens. Pleasant surprise to see that someone around here has a shred of respect for the dead. Yeah. I have some questions first. Why can't you do this yourself? Well, I tried. Only got a short ways in before I got in over my head. I haven't raised a blade in a long time. Turns out it isn't something you can just pick up again. But you look like you can handle it yourself. Who are you, anyways? Name's Wharton. Lived in Gilded Vale long enough to remember how grand it used to be. Used to help the temple sometimes, bring supplies, that's all. Wait, so... Wharton used to be a trader. And he helped the current Lord Redrick, kill the temple priests, even though he helped them. Won't Lord Redrick mind us digging around down here? I wouldn't go telling him about it. Lingering in these places, it's no good for anyone, but you do this quick and quiet, and we can do right by those priests without raising a fuss. What's this legacy? Saint Waidwin's legacy. The man that housed the scattered god. A time. Okay, so he's basically saying exactly what he said earlier. Any chance there's something down there worth a little more than some old bones? Probably. Nobody's been through the place since it was sealed up. Well, apart from me. I didn't touch anything. Any valuables in there, you get first crack at them. I only ask that you do this favor for me while you're at it. Okay. So I take it you aren't supposed to be in here. Well, I meant to be in and out nice and quick, not hurting anyone. It's just Lord Redrick's forbidden anyone having anything to do with the scattered god. It'd be a little harder to explain to him than you. It's a good cause though, isn't it? And you could make some coin in the process. They're long dead. What does it matter where they're buried? It's about respect, isn't it? About deserving to be remembered. Not just tossed under a pile of rock and forgotten. He breathes out shakily. I thought it worth the effort, giving that to them. You want me to bring you some skeletons? I'd bury them where they are if I could. I know it's a little macabre, but if we don't get them out now, Redrick's liable to destroy whatever's left in them. I'll find them. I respect that. I respect that he respects the dead. Everybody deserves to be remembered. Then by the flame, I owe you a good turn. Screw the coin. People deserve at least that. But listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long it's crawling with creatures, but if you get past them, the priests would have been down on the lower floor. They'll be there still if they're anywhere. Those priests had all kinds of secret chambers, switches in the wall, trick sconces, that kind of thing. Keep an eye out and take care down there. I wouldn't want to have to send someone else after your remains. I'll wait here by the stairs and keep a lookout. Maybe try to patch myself up some. This guy's legit. He's a good guy.
What is it?
I'll be right back.